yung iba may jurisdiction na tayo, yung iba wala. Aling mga platforms in-engage nyo at ano po yung mga outcomes ng engagement na yan, kung meron na?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unang-una ho, pinalakas ho natin yung coordination, interagency coordination natin. In fact, we already conducted trainings po to use the various tools for detection and monitoring ho ng CICC with our not only our law enforcement partners but also our private sector partners. We also engage with advocacy groups po with regards to children and yung mga OSAIC-CSIM cases ho natin. So party na rin ho sila yung nung CICC's Threat Monitoring Center kung saan ho tinetrain natin itong mga ahensya na to at mga grupong to na gamitin yung mga tools natin para kung ano yung hinahanap nila, ni advocacies nila, madali ho nila ma-detect using our tools. Pangalawa ho, tama ho kayo. In the case of the Zamboanga shooting, on that very day, we coordinated with the PNP and General Wilson Asueta of the ACG. We extended our willingness to help when it comes to and the tools and the systems that we have in CICC when it comes to digital forensic investigation. And to be fair naman po, mabilis ho ang tugon ho ni General Asueta na sinasabi niya hinihintay lang po ang warrant. We also engage with Meta. Kaya nung araw din pong yon, Madam Chair, natanggal ho yung mga videos with regards to the school shooting itself at
Pero after how long? Kasi ang balita natin, 14 minutes. Naka-live stream ang shooting bago na takedown. Wala bang capacity ang CICC na ma-flag ka agad kapag may ganyang klaseng content na nila live stream, ma-takedown within seconds or minutes man lang, not na ngayon out there almost a quarter of an hour ng ganyang klaseng content na pwedeng gamitin ng sino man na may iba't ibang tukana.
Madam Chair, to be fair to sa atin sa atin ho sa CICC tsaka sa mga law enforcement, once we have we reported and we had visibility on the video, we reported it to Meta. Tapos
how many minutes into the incident na nagkaroon kayo ng visibility?
If the incident po happened in that around
9:44
9:40, we had visibility around mga 5 minutes. Tapos ni-report na ho kaagad natin to sa mga platforms para i-take down ho. Pero again, maybe it's the
So if you were able to have visibility, ni-report ng CICC sa Meta, why did it take another 9 minutes bago na take down ng Meta? Or kasabay ng pag-report ng CICC sa Meta, hindi ba pwedeng kayo na mismo mag-take down?
That's the problem, Madam Chair. First is the jurisdiction. We don't have jurisdiction over these platforms, whether it's social media platforms, the gaming platforms, messaging platforms, and even streaming platforms. Kasi ang balita ho namin hindi lang ho sa Meta tsaka sa Facebook nag-live yung bata. It was shared also sa isang website for these particular incidents. Yung
what website is that, sir? Yusek?
Live watch people die.
Yan yung pangalan ng website?
Yes, Madam Chair. Yeah.
Sa ganyang pong sitwasyon, sino ang may jurisdiction? CICC had visibility and then within 5 minutes of visibility ni reports or within 5 minutes na nagsimula yung shooting, you had visibility ni report nyo sa Meta. The live streaming went on for 9 minutes more without Meta taking it down. Tatanungin ko rin sa Meta, sa ganyang mga sitwasyon, who has jurisdiction? Who can prevent the harm of 9 more minutes of this kind of content live streaming to the country and to including all our children?
Maybe, Madam Chair, and I'd like to be honest here, this might be one of the gaps in our laws and in our legislation that wala hong particular na ahensya na nagtuturo. Kasi tinuturo kung sino.
I agree po. It's a very big and very dangerous gap, which the committee will really try to fill. So ano yun? Dark web, itong watch people, dark web na website yan.
Parang ano ho siya, it's a website known only to us because of this incident, Madam Chair, but it has a particular following that has also group chats. That was also, kaya rin ho, in proposing legislation, Madam Chair, we also propose that we have jurisdiction also over messaging platforms, not only Telegram, but also certain web-based platform chat groups like Discord.
Yes, Yusek, actually yung dalawang binanggit nyo, Telegram, Discord, nabanggit na rin sa naunang hearing nung tiningnan namin ng mas malalim yung problema ng nihilistic violent extremism. Alam ko yung mga investigators natin have not issued any findings kung applicable din yung NVE na lumabas dun sa Tacloban investigation, kung applicable yan or hindi dito sa Zamboanga. But it is good to hear that sa overall problem ng particularly ng NVE na ang CICC also has eyes on those particular messaging platforms. And then hindi na po natin babanggitin ulit yung pangalan ng website para hindi ma-curious o maengganyo yung iba na dalawin yan.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
for the
Yusek
information of the
Paraiso.
committee, we already recommended the blocking of the website within the Philippine jurisdiction. But again, the website's following is not really on the website. Doon lang ini-stream po yung mga videos, but their following usually talks, discusses, maybe radicalizes on separate messaging platforms, Madam Chair.
At kaya gusto ng CICC magkaroon din ng jurisdiction kahit kaugnay ng messaging platforms, at least in particular for this menace to children.
Yes, Madam Chair, and to help our law enforcement agencies a lot, because most of these messaging platforms do not have yung katulad ng ibang messaging platforms natin na we can relate it to a particular number to our SIM card registration. But these online messaging platforms, register ka lang, tapos nagiging anonymous po yung mga pangalan, hindi pa tunay na pangalan yung ginagamit. So if we have jurisdiction over these platforms, we can probably get some attribution to whatever ends, whether if it's a citizen here in the Philippines, we can prosecute. If it's somewhere, and in most cases, Madam Chair, madalas to mga to foreigners po at saka mga taga-ibang bansa, maybe we can strengthen our partnership and probably our MLATs also with other countries, Madam Chair.
Yes, yung MLATs, importante po yan na pag-uusapan din dun sa precisely yung regional and international cooperation sa pagitan ng mga law enforcement agencies, also addressing this problem in their own home countries. And isa po yan sa sinusulong sa enhanced anti-OSAEC, SISAM law, para magkaroon ng related but para malinaw, hindi magulo, separate or distinct section on NVE para yung tools natin laban sa OSAEC at SISAM magamit din ng investigators at law enforcers natin laban naman sa NVE. And mamaya-maya tanungin ko rin yung NCC, OSAEC, SISAM at saka ang DOJ, ano yung position nyo dun sa mga bridge provisions dun sa panukalang batas between anti-OSAEC, SISAM provisions at saka yung anti-NVE provisions. But for now, also to add na sa OSAEC bill nga na iyan na ini-expand namin, pwede ring mag-expand dun sa sino ang pwedeng mag-issue ng subpoenas, kasi napag-uusapan natin kanina yung in particular yung mga e-subpoenas. So bagong legislation po ba or amendment ang kailangan ng CICC at hindi lamang additional budgetary support? Yusek Paraiso.
Maybe it's the ideal scenario, Madam Chair, would be all three concurrently being done, Madam Chair. In the meantime po, we can enhance the tools that CICC has, which it can trickle down to our various agencies, whether it's law enforcement, investigation agencies, even the DOJ, OOC, who is also part of the CICC's executive committee. And again, malaking tulong po at nagpapasalamat tayo sa private sector din po, Madam Chair, kasi sila po mismo lumalapit sa CICC and volunteering their people to be part of the threat monitoring center, Madam Chair. Second po, we can enhance po and update po siguro